Hi, welcome back to our story. Today's story is Denmark 1992. Undoubtedly, the most surprising and tragic Euro Cup victory is Danimarka's. Then let's start telling the story from beginning. Denmark, a weak football nation at the time, had no notable successes. But they were drawn into an easy group for Euro Cup qualifiers. So there was a chance they could qualifying the tournament. There were differences of opinion on which coach should be appointed to team before the qualifiers. Management was in favor of bringing in a foreign coach, but they were rejected by all 7 coaches that were discussed. So the team's former assistant coach Nielsen had to take over the team. Players saw the coach as incompetent and there were conflicts within team. They also found coach's tactics boring. On top of that, things got out of hand because the coach didn't give in to the players' demands. Despite all these difficulties, Denmark played their matches and beat weaker teams in group. But they were unable to defeat their main opponents Yugoslavia. And they finished the qualifiers 1 point behind Yugoslavia and could not participate to Euro 1992. Whole country is criticizing coach Nielsen. He had both offended the star players of the national team and failed to be successful. While management was looking for a new coach after this fail, a surprising development occurred. Yugoslavia was banned from tournament due to the civil war. This means that Denmark, who finished second in group, qualified for Euro 1992. Denmark had a great opportunity, but players didn't want to use it. They were on vacation and didn't want to spoil their vacation for a tournament they had no assertive to. Michael Laudrup has stated that he will definitely not participate to tournament. Management convinced other players, but they didn't seem very keen because didn't have much hope either. Coach also had a lot of responsibility to motivate the team. He planned to do extra training for this. Also, they drawn with hosts Sweden, England and France in Group A. This was a tough draw. First match was against England. Neither team was able to make dangerous attacks. Denmark was defending with all their players and England wasn't playing well. After an unpleasant game with no positions, match ended 0-0. Second match's opponent was hosts Sweden. They played with France in previous match with a great performance. And it was clear that Sweden was favorite in this match. They were only side that attacked throughout the match. Peter Schmeichel made incredible saves. Whole team forced to defend by Sweden. Sweden was better than England. Denmark's defensive play worked for first half, but second half it didn't. Sweden scored with Brolin in 58th minute. And Denmark couldn't attack for the rest of the match, then match ended 1-0. After the match, chaos ensued. Kim Vilfert, learning that his daughter's leukemia disease is progressing, she was really bad. And he returned Denmark with the coach's permission. Also Nielsen said that, "We will eliminate France and advance from the group. I am waiting for you to semi-final match." Vilfert didn't believe that. But this situation, which seemed impossible and tragic, would make the story even more miraculous. Coach had to think of something smart to achieve this dream. Team, already demoralized by the news they received, and they needed motivation. Also, the extra training they did was useless. Nielsen noticed this and implemented 2 alternative methods. Nielsen cancelled all trainings before match and took the team to play golf. Team was really had fun and motivated while playing golf. Before last group match against France, Coach Nielsen gave new tactics to team. Famous back pass tactic. Let me explain. You pass the ball back to the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper holds the ball and no one can intervene. Denmark has abused this tactic too much. That's why this tactic was banned after this tournament. Also, Denmark had to beat France to advance from group. They started the match very enthusiastically. Yesterday's golf break seemed to work. As a result, they scored in 8th minute on their first attack. After this goal, they started to use back pass tactic. Thanks to this tactic, they finished the first half without conceding a goal. Then France recovered in second half and scored a goal with Poppen in 60th minute. But after this goal, Denmark started to attack again and scored a goal with Elstrup in 78th minute. This was the last goal in match. In other match, Sweden beat England 2-1. Denmark had miraculously qualified from the group. Nielsen's tactics worked. Also, coach's method of motivating team worked too. The next day, they went to a hamburger restaurant to celebrate. This was a very controversial issue at the time. Also, despite the success, Nielsen was still being criticized in Denmark. Their opponents in semi-finals were Netherlands. Meanwhile, Kim Wil-Fort, who went to see his daughter, returned because his daughter said, "Dad, I want to watch you on TV." This boosted team's morale even more. And Nielsen made a promise to team, if they make it to the finals, they will be allowed to stay at hotel with their families. So players got more ambitious. On match day, Dutch players looked very confident. They underestimated Denmark, but they were shocked by the goal they conceded in 5th minute. Denmark was the only side attacking. However, in minute 23, Bergkamp scored Netherlands' first goal. Only 10 minutes later, Larsson scored both his and his team's second goal. Denmark kept attacking after this goal. Netherlands hasn't scored for a long time. Also, Henrik Andersen left the game with an unfortunate injury. While Denmark was waiting to advance final, Rijkaard scored a goal from a corner kick in final moments of the match. Match went to extra time with this goal. The only side to attack in extra time was Netherlands. But Denmark avoided conceding a goal thanks to both their defense and the incredible performance of their goalkeeper. So match went to penalties. Denmark scored 5 of 5 penalties. Netherlands were eliminated due to a penalty save by Schmeichel. Denmark's miraculous story continued. Coach Nielsen kept his word and players spent time with their families. All that was left was to win the final and the cup. Only obstacle in their way was Germany. But before final, almost all the players were injured in Denmark. Coach Nielsen has assembled the best possible squad under the circumstances. Also, Nielsen gave special tactic to Jensen about shoot right away when you see the goal. Match started with Germany attack. After some blocked attacks, Denmark made a counter Nielsen. Then he scored with a successful shot. Germany made more attacks for draw, but Schmeichel was clearly the best goalkeeper in tournament. He saved all positions. Also, Denmark was using back pass tactic again. They were occasionally making counterattacks too. Minutes went like this. Everyone was very excited as they approached the final minutes of the match. He dedicated the goal to his daughter with leukemia. It was a very emotional moment. And this was last goal of the match. Denmark became champion of Euro 1992, which they participated in by chance. They made the most fantastic story of Euro tournament's history. They were welcomed like kings in Denmark. Coach Nielsen had success with his alternative tactics and he redeemed himself to fans and whole country. Unfortunately, Vilfort's daughter passed away 6 weeks after the tournament. But at least he had fulfilled his daughter's dream. If you like this video, click like button and subscribe for more videos. Also write in the comments which team you would like to see in next video and your recommendations for our channel.